Hello and welcome back yet again to techgooch, and here I have another video review for you. This is kind of a series here. So Goluk actually sent me these a little while back, and I apologize for how long it took to get the review out, but a lot of things that were going on in my life. But that said, I've had ample time now to actually say that I have used these through and through very thoroughly, and I have a very good hands-on use with them. So these are all three of the different dash cams you can get from Goluk. The T1, the T2, the T3. Obviously, I guess they're in opposite order for you. But so the T1 and T2 are really their primary, their main dash cams. These are kind of their premium or their better ones, I guess. They're more expensive ones, really. They're not too costly. They're actually really well priced, in my opinion, especially for how small they are and what they can do and the quality of video you get. But the T1, T2 are kind of their primary. T3 is kind of their I guess more budget oriented. It's not that much cheaper, to be honest, but it is a little more budget oriented, to be honest. Doesn't have as many full features as the T1 and the T2 have. But that said, they all are very, very similar to each other, and that's what you'll actually see here with the actual cameras themselves. These are the three different cameras: the T1, the T2, and the T3. There are some design differences between the T1 and T2. The side port, you have the speaker that's kind of here on the back, where the T2 has this harder, different thing with a thing all the way around it. So design differences, right? They're not any smaller than each other. You know, you call the T3 the small one, but because it's the lower end one or whatever. But they're very similar, and they're the exact same size. Which, nice thing is, this is the mount for the T2, which I just pulled off the back of my vehicle, so I may have to replace the tape. But you get an idea here. So the T2, or at least the bracket here for it, will fit all three of them. I don't have to use the T2's bracket with only the T2. They're the exact same bracket for any of them. So there's some distinctive advantages to that. Because if you change the camera, or once you mount it and you want to maybe put the better camera in a different location, if you think there is a quality difference, because the T3 does have a different sensor, the T3 has a different aperture, has a different angle for how wide the viewing. It's not as wide a viewing angle, basically. If you want to change them out and actually mix them around, you can. Even if if you have this in the same family, it's easy to quick and adjust around. So that's really nice feature as well, is they're all the same bracket. So I liked that a lot, actually, just getting out of the gate. The other accessories that come with it, I'll just go over these real quick, are a few different things. So a few different things to mount it, and that's the actual pads and everything to actually stick it on. And if you don't have a way of actually tucking the cord into like a headliner or routing the USB cord that comes with it, you'll see that here in a moment. They do have these little adhesive clips that you take the tape off, stick it, and then the cord will actually clip into there. Because obviously these need power. They have a battery built into them. The T3 doesn't have a battery; it has a capacitor, which there are advantages to having a capacitor. You don't have to worry about the battery dying eventually, right? The capacitor is just going to fill up and slowly drain. So there are advantages to that. But the T1, T2 do have a lithium polymer battery built into them, so when you turn the car off and it doesn't get power, it can wind down. If you actually want to keep it on a little bit longer, you can. I like to actually, on my one vehicle, I'm trying to get it, as soon as you turn the key on, it turns power to both of them, good to go. On my, with the T3 right now I have set up was, it's constantly powered unless I unplug it, which I do want to change that over to, because it definitely puts strain on your battery and your vehicle. It'll automatically go to sleep, but if it sees something move, it's going to turn back on. And especially if you park outside, I don't typically, but if you do, I probably would turn it off automatically, unless you want to make sure you have that security system enabled. Which, when we go into restaurants, I actually sometimes will power them on all the time, just because, if I'm in an area that I don't know about this area, I'll keep them on, because that way I can always go back to the footage. Oh wow, there's a new dent on my vehicle. I can kick the footage out and find out what's going on. And that's one of the nice things about, in my Wrangler, I have one facing forward, one facing backwards. So one in the back window, one in the front window. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. So what also comes with it is instruction booklets on how to set it up. Basically, what you want to do is you want to download the Goluk app before you even start unpackaging and get everything going, in my opinion. Because the Goluk app is how you're going to actually control everything. Is it required? No, it isn't. I guess to get it set up, yes. When you plug it in for the first time, it'll tell you every time, hey, go through the Goluk app and get this thing set up. But after you get it set up, you really could just let it go. And if you ever need to get pulled up footage off, if you don't have your smartphone with you, you can pull the memory card right out of these guys, put it in a computer, and go from there. But you'll want to have a smartphone or a tablet or something handy to set these guys up through the Goluk app. It's really easy. It's not difficult at all. But I'm not going to go through the setup so much of it because it is pretty simple and and I'd have to reset these and everything, and I have a lot of footage obviously on them. But I will show you how I have them mounted in my vehicles, and then we'll go from there. So here is the T3 that's mounted up on my dash on my Jeep Liberty. As you can see, it has the standard stick-on mount, as all three of them do. It is the smaller, technically, of the three, or the more basic entry model is the T3. Currently, I have it running, so if you can see, there is the light that shows that the Wi-Fi is currently running, and it's hard to see the actual power light, but it's telling me that everything's on and going. I have my wire actually ran into the thing and down into the dash, and it does pop out here, so I can actually pull it out. I'm probably eventually going to actually hardwire this one like I did my other Jeep, which you'll see here in a second. But that's what the T3 looks like when it's mounted. So here we have the T1. So the T1 here is mounted on my Jeep Wrangler on the front-facing camera. It is very similar to the T3. To be honest, as you can see, all three of them are very similar looking. Also adhesive mount, which comes with it. I have that facing out the front. This one I have wired up and put it into the dash down the side here. And this one's actually based on turnkey. So I actually have it powered up automatically whenever I turn the vehicle on. So if I click the accessories on here, radio kicks on, and the Hi Goluk comes up. So now it's actually recording. And just like the other ones as well, this one I can actually show you. Sorry about the digging. I'm going to turn this off too. The little button here, whenever you click this little button, it does automatically save the video around the button click. So you hear the clicking there. This is the standard Goluk button that came with the T1. I don't know if you heard, you could hear it. If you heard the echoiness to it, it actually wasn't an echo. The T2, which I have in the back of my vehicle, is a rear lookout. It actually will automatically capture on this same button. So I only have to hit this button one time and it'll actually hit both of them. I did not set that up. It actually came pre-set up for that. So it is one of those nice things that if you have multiple cameras in your vehicle and you have one, even though they all come with their own button, you hit one, it should actually click all of them. Now this button, I will say, I don't believe worked with the T3. The T3 has its own. So the T1 and T2, which actually have the same sensor and everything, they seem to work off the same button. So I'm not promising that in your scenario, but works good, at least in mine. So that's the T1, and then I'll show you where I have the T2 mounted as well. So here we are looking out the back of my Wrangler, and you can see the T2 that I have mounted up near the actual mechanism, or the motor kit for the rear windshield blade. How I have this one actually ran for power. Still having to probably figure out what I want to do with this specifically, but I actually have it going into the roll bar, and then across the roll bar, and then down by the subwoofer down here is where I actually have it plugged in into the power. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually, you can see where it pops out of the roll bar right there. I'm going to actually hide it, and I'm going to actually have it powered inside the roll bar, or inside behind the subwoofer here. So it'll be a turnkey as well. So whenever I turn the key on, it'll automatically turn this one on. It's not going to be powered 24/7. Right now, I come back here, I only plug it in. And we only use the rear camera when we're actually going on longer trips. But city is really where you want the stuff anyway. So I got to get this one set so it has power whenever we turn the key. So all in all, if you're looking at getting a dash camera, I highly recommend the Goluks. I really do. I've used them for months now, and I can honestly tell you that all three of these are good options. The T1 and the T2 are my primary. That's the ones that push you out there, and at the price that they do fluctuate. I will put links at the top of the description for all three cameras. if they're available in the US at least. If they're the T2, I don't think it was showing up on at least on Amazon currently. But I'm gonna put links to where you can get them on Amazon at least, or where you can get them, as well as links directly to Goluk's website where you can actually read about all three of them. They have comparison sheets and everything there. I will tell you, if you go onto their website and you look at their comparison sheet, yeah, they have a different sensor. Yeah, they may have a few different things, but it's like, which one's better? Because they don't really tell you, oh yeah, this one's definitely got higher quality, this one's got this and this. The T1 and the T2 are essentially the same camera. They really are. The difference between them, and while I think there's maybe one in that spreadsheet that they give you, there's like a front-end collision on the T1. I think the T2 has it as well. But that said, it's more aesthetics and looking at it in a different design more than anything else. So because they have the same everything else. So the T3, like I said, is a little bit different, sensor, a little different, no battery capacitor, things like that. So there are some small differences there. All three have good quality video. I can honestly tell you, all three are 1080p, and they're good. They really are good cameras. So definitely check those out. I'll probably also post some videos down the line of some of my footage. That'll be on the website. So go to the techgooch.com, and I'll link directly. Or if you actually go into the top, I'll probably have something there for the T1, T2, T3 where you can actually see footage of it. I'm probably not going to let that just fly on my channel. Normally, I'll hide the videos off the channel. So keep in mind that, or I'll actually put a link directly in the description here so you don't have to go to my website. Either way, that's where you'll be able to find that footage once I get it up there. So just so you know about that. And the nice little handy thing about these little guys, you can go in and change the footage. So when you click on this, you can actually tell it how much, when I click on this, how many seconds before and after do you really want me to save? So you can kind of vary that a little bit. But the big thing is you can vary the quality, because out of the box when you push this button, you'll hear it click, it'll go beep. The quality of the video by standard is 480p, which I jumped up to 1080p. If I'm going to click this, I want the high quality. I don't want the low quality. I want the highest quality you can get me. So that's, if I made a recommendation, I would go into the settings of the app and change that to do a 1080. That as well, what they say, the front end collision sensors, there are accelerometers built into the cameras. So when you hit a bump, like if you approach a thing, you'll hear a beep, and that's essentially the same as hitting this button. So it thinks that maybe somebody hit you or you hit something. I wouldn't get upset with that. Hey, I appreciate that you at least found out that something was jostling and saved the video. It doesn't happen very frequently, but it does happen from time to time. And if I look in the app and I look in the footage that actually saved automatically, it's like, oh yeah, it's when I hit that bump really hard. But that is that, and that's just how the dash cams work with that 3D accelerometer. They can't really tell you specifically that you got a fender bender or whatever, but they are going by that jostling. So just keep in mind of that. But other than that, if you have any other questions or comments about any of these dash cams, please put those in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the channel, share the video so that we get more products into review. I want to say thank you to Goluk for sending these over to me. I have used other dash cams, and I honestly will tell you that I really like these dash cams. They're fun. They call themselves a fun dash cam, and they really are. They're really easy to share the video. They're really easy to download the video to your phone or device. When you're on the app looking through this stuff, it's not using any data on your cell phone or anything like that. It's literally just pairing those two together, and they connect via Wi-Fi. So with that said, check us out on all social media, techgooch, thetechgooch.com, and let me know what you think. If you have one of these cameras, or if you have a better dash cam, let me know, because I'd love to try out things that are better. And with the ones that I've personally tested, with the Goluks here, I have no qualms about saying I do recommend these cameras. They are actually pretty nice, and they're small, and they don't stand out like a foot. Some people like the dash cams to blend in so you don't know they're there. And I will tell you, look at your laws. If you're here in the States, look at state laws. Are you allowed to have a dash cam? Are you allowed to just continually record? Things like that you will want to actually look into, because not every state's the same. That said, you can make the argument about the other ones. They actually offer these in other colors like red and pink and stuff. And if you're looking for deterrence, well, that's a nice thing. If you're in a state that you know is good to go, having something that stands out that says, my vehicle is being monitored, well, that's probably going to keep thieves more away. You know, it's like putting the big ABT sign or anything out in front of your yard to say, hey, I have security, don't mess with me. So that's, you can look of it two ways. These, I do like these colors because they do blend in pretty good, but you can tell they're there. So with that said, I want to say thanks for stopping by, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on another or a future video. See you soon, guys.